My God, guys, I should go take a bath, I will, but I have to tell you about the film we saw. We saw See Me Dance. If you have seen atheists review this, you know what a bad film it is, but I wouldn't let myself watch any reviews. I saw like a little snippet review, and then I'm like, oh, this looks really cool because Satan is in here. Shut up, Loki. Loki started singing the fatty song every time Satan was on the screen. But I figured I'll go look and see if I can find a copy, right? And there was a copy on YouTube. So we're watching it, and at first, when it starts out, we're laughing our asses off because they don't ever tell you who's driving the truck, but you have to assume Satan's driving an 18-wheeler and he's trying to run the mom over for some reason. I don't fucking know why. They never explain why Satan or the truck driver or who the fuck ever is trying to kill the mom. They don't really explain whether it's actually the mom or the baby. So the mom dies. Car flips over, catches on fire. Somehow the fucking baby's okay. Like, you know that wouldn't happen, but it's a Christian film. And then it starts off with this creepy montage of this little girl growing up, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a horror film because the camera's on her like way too long, especially at her dance recital. And it has that horror movie feel of the voyeur filming the film. Like, nobody should be at this fucking recital, and you feel like he's in a closet somewhere filming this, but I guess it was the dad filming all this stuff. They never explain that either. And they go into this film, and she finds out she's dying of cancer because a Christian movie. And somehow, in a way they don't explain, Jesus or God, I'm not sure which, becomes a magic light. And, is in the light. There's like this like chandelier light above the table, and God appears as a light in the chandelier light, and God chooses her to do his work on earth, which is to sway everyone she can touch to Christianity. She touches them, they see Jesus getting a nail driven into his hand. I'm not fucking with you. This movie exists. And they instantly believe in Christ. And the weird thing is, people appear out of fucking nowhere that were never in the movie before just to kick this girl's ass. And then, of course, they're beating the shit out of her, and she touches them, and they're converted to Jesus. She ends up spreading this conversion like a plague. Like, everyone she touches goes and talks to other people, and then they instantly convert too. But it gets better because Satan does appear a couple times in this movie. It takes him over a half hour. I think it's like 44 minutes before he actually shows up, because he's usually just a vague shadow stalking. Shut up, Loki. And then when he does show up, he's just the slightest bit chunky. And we're not trying to body shame Satan, but he looked fucking bad. He looked like they just casted whoever the hell would agree to play Satan, because if they're actual hyper Christians, they don't want that role. So it looked like they casted whoever the hell they could find to play Satan. So Satan's a little bit chunky in this film. He speaks something that's supposed to be Aramaic to her, but it doesn't really sound like it's Aramaic. I don't know what the hell he actually spoke. But basically, Satan shows up 4 or 5 times in this movie, and one time he's menacing her with leaves. It was CGI leaves, I think. And another time he morphs into a caretaker and tells her there's a dance recital, and then he creepily watches her do the dance recital. That's all he does. Satan's kind of stalking this girl in this film. It's kind of creepy. And basically all he tells her to do is to stop, and he'll leave her alone, and he threatens her death. Well, she won't stop, and the movie goes on, and she ends up starting a thing that you can tell is going to convert every person on the planet, all billions and billions of people on the planet, to Christianity. Her flavor of Christianity, not whatever your flavor might be. And in the end, on Christmas Day, she gets to die, because that's how God thanked her. And as she's laying dead by the Christmas tree, I'm not shitting with you, this movie exists. Her dad is telling her to dance for her mom. So she's up in heaven dancing for her mom. And the Dark Lord is mad at us because we were singing fatty, fatty, fatty. Loki got me started every time Satan showed up, and Satan didn't really show up in this film very much. He might have not even been fat, but he was wearing this thing that pushed his chin up like this, and it looked like he was wearing some kind of Poochie body armor to look bigger and taller, and it was such a fucking waste of a film because it actually was a good idea. Had Satan actually been scary, and I've seen a lot of good films with really spookity looking Satans, it could have been such a great fucking film had it been actually Satan actually doing anything, because it's really weak sauce in this film. Actually, all he does is show up every so often, scare them, and he never does anything. He never like sends a plague of flies or anything else he does in standard horror movies. It could have been an interesting film, like had it been an actual contest between Satan and this servant of God or whatever, it could have been an interesting film. And somebody pointed out in the comments, does anybody else notice that all Satan does the whole film is tell her the truth? He does. Satan just basically shows up every so often and tells her the truth. And he isn't really after her. He even tells her, if you just stop converting people, I'll leave you the hell alone. I'll leave your dad alone. And she won't. She won't, because God's using her at this point. God had overshadowed her, and he's using her to touch people and convert them. So she gets to die in the end. And Asmodeus had been putting up a fuss, and Satan wasn't happy because we couldn't help it. This was like the worst film Satan ever. We kept chanting fatty, fatty, fatty when he showed up. And it was just so bad. And we felt bad because he shows up at one point. You finally get the reveal of Satan. We chant a fatty, fatty, fatty. Then he doesn't show up for like 30 more minutes, and we felt bad. We thought we chased Satan away because we had his feelings. It was bad. It tried to be a good film, but you couldn't decide what the fuck it was. The first part you think is going to be a pretty kick-ass horror movie because somebody deliberately kills the mom and the girl grows up and she develops telekinesis powers. So this should be pretty fucking cool horror movie. Plus Satan stalking her. It halfway through it turns into a hippy-dippy Christian film where she's thinking about boys and being in ballet. God don't care what she's thinking of. He still lets her die of cancer at the end of the film. Well, you did all my work and you converted the whole planet. Now you get to die. I'm like, what kind of fucking message is that? Do you want people to practice your religion or not? And the father is the only smart character. As a child is dead on Christmas Day, he's asking God, why? Why did you take her when we did everything you wanted? And of course, God never shows up to answer. And they never give you an answer. There's just this thing at the end of her dancing in heaven, and it's her dancing with this horrible light on her. And her mom has this horrible light on her, but they're in this really dark, spooky ass theater. And they're all alone. And it's like, she in purgatory? Where is she actually? Because it doesn't look like what I would call heaven. And the Christian music in this movie, it was so bad. It was so bad. It was the one way you knew it was a Christian movie because the music was so bad. And it could have been such a great film. I was so disappointed because I was expecting like Satan to like spin Bible verses at her. And there's this one point where the dad finds something about Satan in the Bible, and I'm like, you've never read this shit? You are a Christian. You are the go-to church, read your Bible type of Christian. And you just discovered who Satan is? You don't know. He didn't know what angels were either. He had to look up angels, and he got an angel, alright. Like he said, it's just fell down a lot. So we're gonna both get it for that, but that was pretty damn good. So it was such a waste. It was, Satan, if Satan had been fleshed out, if like he had actually spoke actual Aramaic, which nobody actually knows what it fucking sounds like, so at least they made an attempt. if he could have been a truly menacing character, and if he could have been a truly worthy opponent, and if he could have truly done stuff to her, it would have been a lot better film. Just random characters you never fucking heard before going crazy and menacing these people. It wasn't great. And of course, alert for anybody that's a goth or punk or metal or something. We're all the devil's tools, and he can just possess us like that, and we will just get pissed off and go after the latest messiah. And I'm like, this doesn't even make sense. These characters would not even have known this girl. And then suddenly they're threatening her, and this one boy flips his shit and is following her and actually trying to kill her. And I'm like, what the fucking hell? I haven't even seen these characters interact before unless I missed something. So it was bad. It tried to be a good film. I will give it credit. It tried to be a good film, but it tried to be too many damn things at once. It was a horror movie. It was a film about the devil. It was a film about preaching the word. That part, it was really hard for me to swallow because they managed to fit so much Jesus stuff into one film that even Jesus wouldn't watch this. So I will warn you, it is heavy on the Christ content. That part wasn't great. And the kind of smug idea that they're religion only religion, and people wrote much better endings for it in the comments section about what would be great is if the devil was actually twist ending, the devil was actually God, and she was actually Satan's minion, and she got all these people, and then one person said, oh no, and you could tell this person actually read their Bible. They said the best twist would be she converts everybody to a Bronze Age religion, and all hell breaks loose because have you read the Bible? And then, yeah, it would be a point of everybody doing the same thing isn't necessarily good. But the demons had all overreacted. I don't think they'd even seen this film. I hope they hadn't. I don't think there's a level of hell. I don't think hell exists anyways, but don't think there's a level of hell that bad. I don't think there's a level of hell where they make you watch these films. I heard there might be now. They'll be doing that to me for all eternity. Anyhow, they were all welling because I was going to watch a Christian film, and did I miss Jesus and what was wrong with me? I'm like, Satan's in this one. Satan's in this one. And if you do a 30-second clip of any film, as my film teacher told me, you make any fucking film look great. Yeah, 30 seconds, you can make it look like a fucking suspenseful horror movie, which is what I thought I was going to watch. And Asmodeus was willing, and they were all willing and saying that it was my free choice, and if I really wanted to serve Jesus and God, I could. And I'm like, I'm watching this for Satan. I want to see how good Satan's going to be in this film, and he wasn't good at all. I mean, and the camera work was for shit. There's one point where Satan is just kind of walking after her, like really lazily, like he doesn't even fucking fly or transform into anything. It was really super disappointing. And they kind of partially cut off his head. The film was that bad. I don't know. Maybe the copy I saw they edited it or something, but it was bad. So if you want to watch a really bad Christian film, watch See Me Dance. It tries to had it just picked a lane, it would have been so much better. It would have been a great horror movie if they would have entirely rewrote the script, but it never went there. It could have been an okay Christian movie if you can take bubblegum twee sweet for the whole film. But the fact that she dies at the end, I'm like, I get it. You want to remind us of Jesus, like you haven't been hitting us over the head for over a fucking hour, but I get it. We have to remember Jesus because it's Christmas and she dies. I get it. But it was like, that's sending the message that no matter what a good servant she was, God still let her die of cancer. And I'm like, that's great. Her mom died in a car crash. God used her basically to convert everybody on the planet, and then she got to die. And I'm like, what's the next film? Armageddon? Because that's what it feels like. And it was bad. And as she's dying, I'm like expecting Satan to like show up and be like crying or something. Satan never showed up after she did this sermon in this church. that was televised all around the world. It, Satan never showed up again. The last you saw of Satan is she had insulted him and he was walking after her like, get you, girl. But he was walking so fucking slow, and the costume they had on him just, I don't, I'm not trying to body shame Satan. I don't care what size he is, but it just made him look chunky and bloated, and I'm like, that's just, I don't care if that's what Satan would choose to show up looking like, but he just looked pathetic. He looked like he had eaten 200 donuts because he was feeling really, really sad, and he just kept eating more and more donuts. And then he was like really fat and out of shape, Satan, and toddling after her like, I can still be evil, just watch. And it was it was bad. He showed up in a church to menace her, and she could see him, no one else could, which I think is schizophrenia, but anyhow, she could see him, no one else could. And she says he's here, and the preacher looks right into the camera, and I'm shouting at the screen, the camera, you're looking right into the camera. And the preacher just says very mildly, not with conviction or anything, get out of my house, and Satan runs away. I don't think Satan will ever forgive me for watching that film, and Asmodeus told me I am disowned and he doesn't know me because how could I watch something that bad? And the other demons are just like, it has nothing to do with it having to do with Christianity. It was just so bad. And Loki started the fatty, fatty, fat song. And we joined in and we were hooting and cheering. And I was singing a country song at the beginning about Satan driving an 18-wheeler. And he going to run over the mom. I don't know if it was Satan or just somebody Satan possessed, because they were black, so they were evil. It was bad. It was really, really bad. It just, there was so much more they could have done with this film. They really could have. Like, they had a lot of plot points where she goes to a rock concert, and the flyer itself says that it's a metal rock concert. It could have been so fucking epic for them to have some kind of battle, or for the metal band to obviously be satanic and there to be like some kind of battle of the bands, or for them to like kidnap her, or some kind of crazy shit to go down, or Satan to manifest his power because of satanic rock concert. It never happened, because you know who the headliners were on this metal? It was a Christian rock group. My brain hurts. And I can't get back that hour and a half of my life, but if you want to suffer, watch See Me Dance. It's bad. You will question your life's choices. You will question why you watch this channel. It's really bad. I will warn you guys. I was like, how bad can it actually be? It actually got, I think, a 0% score on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that, or Metacritic or something. It's that bad. There was like, is there anybody that liked it? I don't know. I don't think so. It was it was bad. But it's typical Christian fare. I was like, honestly, I've seen so many of these films that like partway through it went into the typical Christian montage of going to the mall and hanging out with my friends and praying to Jesus and being a good girl and liking to dance. And I want to date boys. So I don't know why we're starting to review Christian films. I guess I'm finding something to do when we can't do video games. But if you guys want to watch a really bad film, there you go. Oh my god, we talked almost 20 minutes. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye bye.